Okay, so this is my third warm-up of the day. I should probably be switching to water, but I need coffee so bad, guys. Coffee right now.
I'm going down to the drugstore, buy a big old skein of yarn. I'm gonna knit me a kitten, even if you don't give a darn.
Welcome to this episode of the We Are Yarn podcast. My name's Amanda. I will be your hostess for the day. Alright, so I have a lot to show you, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have to talk because there are lunch plans being made, and just whatever. I gotta go to work later. I want to go to my knitting group. Today is Sunday, April, I almost said August, April the 29th. Welcome. It's been a little bit since I came and talked to you. How's your sweater going for our Year of the Sweater along? Mine's going okay. I actually stopped and kind of measured my gauge. I didn't write down what I saw because the lady that gave me this yarn saw me working on the sweater, and she said, oh, I thought about knitting that lemongrass, or maybe she even did, I don't remember, but she said, is that even an Aran weight? I was like, I don't know, I kind of figured it was worsted weight, was what I said in my head, and I said to her, I don't know, when I get to the end of my increases for the, when I get to the end of the increases for my raglan, I'll measure it, we'll see what's going on, I'll figure it out. I mean, this sweater has something like 4 to 8 inches of ease or something like that. I feel like I have plenty of room to work. And so if my gauge is a little tighter than called for, I do feel like I'm going to be okay. So this is the Lemongrass by Joji Locatelli, because she apparently right now is like my, I don't know, knitting goddess. I just want to knit all the things Joji. It's just pitiful. So the lemongrass, I'm sure you've seen it. This is my yarn. It's mystery yarn. No idea what it is. It is hand spun from some vendor at SAF some number of years ago. But, so this is the top. This would be the neck. See how fabulous my cable's coming out? I love it. What you need to know is that I messed it up at the top, but you wouldn't have noticed that. So why did I even point it out? I am going to say there's an interesting little detail going on the raglan sleeve. See how it's doing an interesting little twisty thing around that? Around where the increases happen? I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's lovely. Sort of. I wonder if I'm doing it right half the time. But if I were doing this sweater again, I would just do your basic raglan increases, because this is what's slowing me down right now, is doing these fancy little cable twisty bits every other row. So that's my opinion on that. So that's how far I've gotten. Not very far since you saw last. I say not very far. I am 4 rows till I'm to the end of the prescribed increases. And then I'm going to do some measuring, look at my gauge, do some knitter math, figure out where I am with that. So yeah, Lemongrass by Joji Locatelli with unknown yarn from the Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair on my Likey's US 10s. That's another thing. I thought I'd like knitting with these bigger needles, since most of my other projects had much smaller needles. And it seems like the bigger needles, you know, a US 6 is really my happy point for needle size. And the 10s are just a little big, and my hands, they hurt differently than when I'm working on my smaller needles. But that's my knitting for when I'm able to sit and like watch TV or something. And that's rare if ever. But so it's the 29th. My goal was to finish the raglan. So this is how I try to break it down for my sweaters, for my knit-alongs this year. My goal is increases, like get this part done month 1 and then the body month 2, especially, but this one may be a little different because I'm going to have to split and do pearls and still doing cables and things on the front. The back probably won't be a problem. We'll see. I do have a vacation coming up, some time off, but I'm having to work an extra weekend as before I go on that vacation as penance. But yeah, so then, and then do my body the next month, and then the sleeves the next month. That's how I'm breaking it down. That's how I'm making this a manageable thing for myself. And 30 days has September, April. Since tomorrow is the last day of April, probably not going to make that on this one. Oh well. Well, I don't know. Unless I take it to knitting today. I think I could finish those 4 rows at knitting today. And then I have some more day shifts. And when I work day shifts, since my kid goes to bed at a reasonable hour, I have time to knit in the evenings. So I may actually get a lot of this done in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. See how it goes. Other things I've been working on. When I push my child in the swing outside, I stand behind him and I push. And he swings and swings and swings, and then I push again. And while he's swinging in the middle of those pushes, I'm working on my, feel free to laugh at me, depth cowl, I believe. My child and husband just got home, so if you hear stuff, that's them. So my fiber seed, Sprout DK, in the apple cider colorway, riding around in my Whimsy Stitches bag. Oh yes! This is my sweater bag for all of my sweaters. It's a Whimsy Stitches large bag, clear, see-through. Alright, well we just filmed what's going to be the outtake. Alright, so sweater bag, Whimsy Stitches for the 3rd time. I love it. It's my favorite bag for bigger projects like that. I love this bag for smaller projects like this cowl, which is DK. This is being knit on Hayas US5. And this is the planned pooling experiment, which I think is going swimmingly. Although when I was holding it up and looking at it and showing people, it looks like it's traveled ever so slightly, but in the end, when I think when I join it all up, it's going to be just fine. I'm not worried about it. So, and since that's just knit, knit, knit in the round, round, round all day long while I sing this song, I did join my second ball where my little keeper is. That was my second ball since I spoke to you. So that's how much I've knit. Like, I think I was even more like maybe down here last I spoke to you. So I've gotten a lot done on that, and I'm feeling good about it. I've also been trying to work on my socks. Alright, so these are riding around in my Girl with the Rabbit. Let's see, I keep her card in here because I always mess it up. Girl with the Rabbit. Sushi, triangle bag. And these are, just because it's a good general carry around bag, although it needs a bath. I need to throw it in the laundry next time. So this is my Felici Beyond the Wall. And I'm going to make these shorty socks. Since you saw them last, I got to the heel. I worked my heel. And I think this is color wheel yarn, maybe. It feels very sturdy. I couldn't find the yarn I usually use, so that's what I grabbed. And I'm knit 2.5 inches. And I thought on both socks. You want to see proof? Both socks. So I thought that was going to be as far as I was going to go, but I tried them on this morning. I think I need to go an inch or two more. I may add some ribbing. I was thinking about just letting them roll down like the Rose City rollers, but I think I'm gonna do a 1x1 twisted rib for about an inch and then bind off, and I think that'll be perfect. So the experiment with separating them onto two needles and working them concurrently is amazing. I really do feel like I know it's taking me probably the exact same amount of actual knitting time to get as far as I do, but because I perceive more, progress, I'm more likely to work on them, so they seem to be going faster. I don't think I'm going to be casting on another pair of socks for a while, though. Just because I don't know, it slows me down. Alright, oh, I have a finished object. I forgot. It's in the bottom of my basket, riding around in my Twist Fiber Studio bag. Is my finished object. I haven't blocked it. I haven't even cut the yarn yet because the yarn's too precious and I'm afraid to. But the 3-color cashmere cowl is complete. So this is, So this is cashmere silk fingering from the Fiber Studio. It's a cashmere silk blend. Each skein has 217 yards and 50 grams. Okay. So, gauge is important. I did indeed run out of the this is Sand Dune, Tangerine Dream, and Turquoise. I did indeed run out of Sand Dune. There was supposed to be at least one more repeat of the lace up here, and I actually had to do the last row or two in the Tangerine Dream. I think it looks just fine though. And then I did the little contrast rows in the turquoise instead of the Sand Dune, obviously. And so this is one thing I wanted to point out to you guys that I forgot to last time. I never cut my yarn on the inside either. I just tied big rut lines so that I had plenty of room to weave my ends in. Because I wanted to make sure I loved it before I cut, and I don't want to cut it because I'm silly. But this is where we are now. So things I would do differently. First, I would check my gauge. Since I didn't have enough to do the lace, I might have done a repeat or two less of that turquoise. I would have done a few stripes less. And if I had recognized I was going to run out of the Sand Dune a lot sooner, I may have maybe done the ribbing at the bottom in Tangerine and then moved to the Sand Dune, and or maybe, I don't know, something else. But I'm pretty smitten with it. I think it looks really nice. Oh, another thing. I used a bread tie thing to wind up what I had left of my tail. I had a lot on my tail. Probably not enough for another round though. This is how it looks on. It's nice. The few seconds I wore it after I bound it off, it's so warm. Alright, so that's that. Since I saw you last, we have had the Smoky Mountain Fiber Arts Festival up in Townsend, Tennessee. Or over for me, I guess. But It was a lovely little event. I didn't get to go and stay very long because of scheduling conflicts. My mama and my baby went with me, and we all had a wonderful time. Got to see Twist Fiber Studio, and I got myself a new bag from her. Okay, let me tell you. She has so many cute bags. All of the most adorable little sheep and cute little bags with cats on them. But I was looking at them going, okay, I want something unique that not everybody will have. And a lot of those patterns looked like designs that just everybody would carry. So I picked this very delightful cat bag with, I don't even know what those cats are standing on, but it's precious to me. I love it. And I got her show colorway, her show special is this. I've been gravitating towards these blue, green, brown kind of colors lately. I chose to get her DK base. It's a 100% superwash merino. You get 250 yards. And this is the Smoky Mountain Springtime. So, and I was very reserved. There were so many, there was a lot that I wanted to buy, but I'm in a place where I'm appreciating my stash and wanting to use it. And because of that, that segues very nicely into Imagi-knitting. Before I move on to my Imagi-knitting, I do want to say though that for the sweater along, Twist Fiber Studio, Ashley of Twist Fiber Studio, has graciously donated a sweater's quantity of yarn. And I asked her if she was going to be, you know, doing a specific color or weight or whatever, and she said, whatever the winner wants. I told you guys, I told you that I was going to work on a fabulous prize for you, and that's just step one. I also picked up for your package some of those little sheep stitch markers, progress keepers. So the prize package builds. Okay, so anyway, back to Imagi-knitting. So do you guys imagine it? You know, where you sit and look at Ravelry and think of your stash and all the beautiful things you could knit. I've knit like a cowl, 4 shawls, and 2 sweaters in my Imagi-knitting in the last week. But this is the first. I wish I don't have, first off, I need to complete sentences. I unfortunately do not have my iPad back here with me, or I would show you. My next crochet trick is going to be a crocheted summer top out of this yarn. It's Noro Tayo sock that I bought a while back on sale at a yarn shop that I don't think is in business anymore, on a yarn crawl. So there's some, the weird, you know, Noro always has that one weird color. You can see I had started knitting something else. You can see there's a stripe of black. But I think it's going to be quite nice. So the pattern that I've chosen is circular. And you crochet a circle and then kind of square it off and then seam it so that it has holes, and there's a shirt. And you do a front and back, obviously. Yeah, I'm super stoked about that. So it's going to be my next crochet trick. It's in my Granny Squares bag. I tend to put my crochet in here because it has crochet on the back, and I can remember that's what's in it. Some other Imagi-knitting that I've done. Do you watch Wendy, the Sassy Pants Knitter? I do. She has recently completed a winter something shawl. She was wearing it in the episode she just recently released. But it's 3 colors. Has an interesting thing in between, like an interesting detail when you're changing colors. And it's worsted weight. And so I was thinking I wanted to look through my stash of my worsted weight, which is right over there, and maybe pick something out that I could use for that. And then I decided that my worsted weight stash is not terribly healthy. So I was like, but I could hold fingering weight doubled. And I think this is what I've come up with. What do you think holding all this doubled? So I have very ancient stash. I mean, this was dyed in 2012, so that's probably when I got it. This is Space Cadet Creations. This is her freshly cut grass on just superwash merino fingering weight type business. And then the next color would be this peacock sock from Unplanned Peacock. And that's it was dyed specifically for my local yarn shop, the Hook and Needle. And then finally, this, I think I got this as a mystery yarn. This is Punta Yarns Merino Polyamide fingering weight. It does not, colorway HP62, lovingly named. But I think this would be amazing together in that shawl. So I'm imagining holding this double and doing that. I also, have you guys seen, Amba O'Brien has a pattern she recently released that has, in Amba O'Brien style, it's garter stitch with, you do a garter stitch row, a garter bump of one color, a garter bump of another color, alternating, and then a section of lace, repeat your garter, a section of lace kind of business. And her most recent one is you do a fingering weight and then a lace weight. She did hers with like a kid silk merino kind of business, and then the lace, and it was beautiful. I don't have any kid silk anything really, but I have this lace that's been hanging out in my stash since, oh my gosh, forever. I think my second Saf I bought this. So this is, I don't even know if they're still dyeing Under the Dark Star. I don't know. This is called Butterfly Sunset. It's an alpaca lace weight. And I have been struggling with what to use it for forever. I have 2,500 yards of this. This shawl will come nowhere close to touching that. But I'll at least have used a little bit of it. Maybe I'll give the rest away as a prize or something. I don't know. Moon Holler I know is no longer dyeing. So this is Fiddle Sock. She calls it Slingshot from 2016. I think that's just a one of a kind for her. Lovely. So these two would be striped together. Yeah. Yeah. And then I would use this, she's not dyeing anymore either, Kitchen Sink Dye Works, as my lace. I'm just saying. I am thinking though maybe an undyed would look nicer than the kitchen sink. But I don't know. What do you guys think? So that's been my imagining. Those are the two shawls I've knit in my imagination. And the sweater that I have, the summer top that I have crocheted. I will do my best to link to the patterns that I was very poorly describing to you in the show notes, which will be located down there if you're watching me on YouTube. If you're watching me on the website, also down there. If you're watching me on Ravelry, probably down there, maybe above the video, but probably down there too. And if you're downcasting me, however you want to go get to my show notes, they'll be there. I thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about, I would love to answer them. Feel free to contact me on Ravelry. Is probably the best way because I'm horrible about doing email. I'm horrible. If I see it on my phone, I'm really bad about actually responding. But if you do it through Ravelry, it'll go to my email, and then the next time I'm on Ravelry, I'll see that little thing up in the corner, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I need to do that. So, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me in my craft room. Have a lovely amount of time until I see you again. Take care. And hang on for the end, because there's a fabulous outtake that includes my child. You won't believe how big he is now. Bye, guys.
I just can't wait to finish. I got the kitten knitting blues. No, I just can't wait to finish. That's why I got those kitten knitting blues.
Come here, come say hi. Get your finger out of your nose. Can you say hello? Look at you. Can you wave to the camera? Say hi. Hi. Is that you?
Sorry, honey.
That's okay. Don't touch. Don't touch. Can you take your flag to the living room? Don't touch. Oh yeah, there's no button there, is there? There's no button, baby. Go back to the living room. I'll be in there in just a minute, okay?